Hey, it's Larry Sharpe here on the Sharpe Way show. I got to tell you, today's Monday Ask Me Anything really is driving me nuts. I'm upset. I'm not upset. It's the wrong word. I am bothered. That's a better word. I am bothered because I have figured something out today. I figured it out finally. The governor of New York, my Lord Master, His Majesty, King Andrew Cuomo II, oh hail the king, he has his team watching me. I didn't know that, but now I've been watching his stuff, and I can see that his team is actually watching me because because he's trying to change. It's insane. But what's driving me more crazy is his team is watching me, but the media is not. Every single thing he has done, His Majesty that is, in the past, I don't know, couple of weeks, has, without question, popped up in a way where I'm saying, if you had just done what I said, none of this would have happened. Like none of this would have happened. MTA problems, budget problems, deaths, all of these things. I literally had the answers for all of them. I put them on my videos and say, here's the answer. Just take them. And no one takes them. The media won't even take them. They still ask him, so now what do we do? The politicians in my state won't even, guys, I'm telling you, if you're watching, steal my ideas. Please take them. Just take my ideas. Make this state a better place so I don't have to run again. That would be nice. Just take them. It would be great. But they won't. They can't seem to take anything. And I'm gonna go through a couple of things here. I think you're going to enjoy it. I'll take some of your comments a little bit later, but I want to grab a couple of these up front because some of the things are almost comical in how bad they are. Let me grab, this is from today. From today. And all I get from my own people in New York State, the congressman is, well, maybe we should take away his executive powers. Boy, that'll teach him. Boy, will that'll show him if you take away his executive powers that he kind of has anyway, because you do everything he says. So that'll teach him a lesson. But here we go, guys. Let's get right into it. This is his press conference today.
Points of distribution, many options for people.
Yeah.
But it also creates confusion.
Oh my God, it creates confusion. It creates confusion that the system goes through New York State and goes through the federal government and multiple, or the plan that I gave you 3 months ago simply said federal government directly to pharmacies. Confusion done.
Let me have one site.
What?
Where I can go and find out where I can get a vaccine in Buffalo. That's not how the system was set up from day one. That's what creates the confusion.
So your system creates the confusion. Yes.
If I could figure out how to get this.
You can't even figure a PowerPoint out, man. Why do you figure out how to give out vaccines?
When does this end? Because the system
not until
is
you're
set
gone.
up the way it is.
That's
it's not really going to end until you have increased dosages.
Oh,
when you have increased dosages.
You mean doses? That's fine. I like dosages. It does make you sound smarter. So let's go with dosages. I like that.
That extensive distribution network will wind up being a positive and not a negative.
Oh, is that what will happen?
Because then you'll have multiple pharmacies getting allocations from multiple sources.
Well, isn't that kind of what I talked about? Isn't that exactly what I said 3 months ago? That you should just have the pharmacies, multiple pharmacies doing this, and you wouldn't have had literally thousands of vaccines thrown in the garbage. This is exactly what I said. Yeah, shocking. Oh my God. Watch the plan. Let me show you the plan. This is the plan.
For the first dose. Some are for the second dose.
Separate reporting.
Some are for the nursing home program.
Look at this, different reporting here.
And then you have the federal government sending to pharmacies and the federal government sending to federally qualified health centers.
Yeah.
We need better coordination between the federal government and the state government.
Like I said.
So we know what pharmacies they're sending to. We don't send to the same ones.
Or you could just not be part of it at all. See, that's my point. You shouldn't be part. You can't figure out the clicker on the PowerPoint. I don't know why you're involved in this at all. That was my entire point. You could have just said, hey, national chains that are CVS and Walgreens and Rite Aid, etc., go on with your bad self. Good luck. That's what you could have done. That's what I told you to do. And now all of a sudden, well, we should do the Larry Sharpe plan without giving Larry Sharpe any credit whatsoever, because I didn't actually watch it, but my people did, and now they're stealing his stuff. Yes. Okay.
Local government doesn't send to the same pharmacies because some pharmacies do a better job than others.
Oh, some pharmacies better. Wow. You are like Sun Tzu. I mean, some pharmacies are better than other pharmacies. Brilliant. I'm so glad you've thought of this.
Some pharmacies are already getting a distribution.
Oh, okay.
So
it's the pharmacy's fault?
The federal government is sending to CVS, then I wouldn't send to CVS.
Yes. Yes. So if we just had the federal government just give to CVS, nobody else would give to CVS. Confusion solved. You know why? Because I've run businesses before. I understand that simplicity tends to be a better answer almost always. There are some kind of minor exceptions, but almost always simplicity is going to work best, which is why my plans are simple. Yours are convoluted and fail. To be clear, not once in a while, every single time.
So we're asking for coordination with the federal government in those regards.
See that?
On COVID overall, follow the science, follow the data.
See?
My great graphic with the valve that nobody likes.
Nobody likes it because it's horrible and you're crushing people, but that's fine.
The COVID numbers are down.
They are.
So we adjust. We've opened indoor dining in New York City. We adjusted the curfew.
See how good you are to us?
Today, we're going to talk about the MTA and increasing capacity there.
You are a generous God. That's true. You are a generous God. I say it often.
We have two special guests.
Special guests. Now watch the MTA.
And Pat Foy from the MTA.
They are deciding on how they're going to allow us to eat outside and how they're going to allow us to go back to our businesses. See, he is a generous God. Watch these guys.
And there they are.
Yes.
Smiling Pat Foy. Take off the mask so we can see the smile, Pat.
Don't take off the mask. You're going to kill people.
There it is.
You know what you told me?
Sarah Feinberg.
Don't do that. People are going to die.
Good to see both of you. And we've been talking about increasing capacity in the MTA.
Capacity in the MTA. For those of you who don't know, the MTA has been shut down in the middle of the night, basically, so they can clean the MTA and things of that sort. That's what they're talking about here. So they're trying to repair the MTA. But now they're having all kind of problems. Too expensive. We need $12 billion and massive amounts of crime in the MTA. Literally this weekend, 4 or 5 deaths over the weekend. Yes, I'm not joking. 4 or 5 deaths over the weekend. Guess how they were killed? Guess how the people were killed? Knife. That's that gun control working so well. Yeah, they were knifed to death. It's like 3 people were killed, 5 people were attacked, 3 were killed, 4 by the same guy. I'm not joking, by the same guy. I'll show you in a second too. And all they do is talk about, thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
The numbers are down. So let's start with Sarah Feinberg, and then we'll turn it over to Pat to tell us what the thinking is. Or do you want to go first, Pat? It's up to you.
Now, if you remember, for those who were paying attention, when I ran for governor, my plan for the MTA was a crazy plan, they thought. But, man, it would be working well right now. And that plan was to take the evening when it's not running, which we've proven that it's not running now. It hardly runs. If you even at full capacity, the MTA at night is at maybe half capacity at max. So my plan was let that evening be where freight could run into New York City. The Amazons of the world, the UPS of the world could take freight trains from outside the city, use the same tracks, and bring them into the city, into Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, whatever. Cuts down on truck traffic, makes it easy to get in. But not just that. To make those freight trains come in, you have to, by default, upgrade the tracks and upgrade everything. And you could then, name the big stations, the Home Depot station, or the Amazon station, or the UPS, or the FedEx station. All of a sudden, these companies are now paying to have broader, open, clearer new tracks, happily, because they'll save money like there's no tomorrow, and they'll be able to have branding on it, and they'll send their stuff directly into the city. What would happen? We would have better maintenance, better subways, without taxpayers having to pay a damn thing. That would be happening. That would have already happened if I was government. That would be happening now. So now, when everything's shut down, who's making all the money? Amazon, UPS, FedEx. The people that I said to do this are literally making a killing during the COVID. What a horrible way of saying that. I'm sorry. But yes, they're making tons of money. They would happily be revamping our entire system right now. Like I said, again, did I make this up? Go to LarrySharpe.com. It's been on my website for 3 years. That plan has been on my website for 3 years. No one picked it up. Right now, our MTA will be spotless, clean, opened up, brand new, ready to rock and roll. Ready to rock and roll without a taxpayer dollar and not being $12 billion in debt. Not being $12 billion in debt and still clean.
Governor, let me start and then I'll turn it to Sarah. Governor, thanks for inviting us today. We're here today to update on two key issues, Governor.
They're not key issues.
First is the safety and security of our system, and second is a phased reopening of the subways, coinciding with New York's gradual reopening from COVID.
So gradual reopening. I thought it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve. That was what, almost a year ago? Now it's a phased reopening.
COVID-19. First, a word on the events this weekend. The crime spree that occurred and resulted in 2 people tragically losing their lives was horrifying and shocking.
3 people total died.
With the victims of these terrible crimes and their families. I want to personally assure every customer and every single employee of the MTA that your safety is our highest priority.
Yeah, not showing.
That's why yesterday my colleague, Sarah Feinberg, New York City Transit Interim President, and I sent a letter to Mayor de Blasio and Police Commissioner Shea.
Because that'll work.
Requesting that an additional 1,000 NYPD officers be assigned to the Transit Bureau of the NYPD.
So their answer is 1,000 police officers going in to the subway. Let me be clear about this. 1,000 more officers going in to the subways. Okay. Well, you think, well, because there's bad guys in the subways and the cops will stop them. Okay, I guess that makes sense, except you just defunded New York City police by $1 billion last year. I'm not joking, guys. The budget of New York City cops is about $6 billion. We just took $1 billion away. Now $1 billion are away, and crime is up. So you know what we should do? Send more cops into the subway. But I'm not even done with that. Right? That's the worst part. Do you know who the people were who were both hurt and who were doing the stabbing? They were all homeless people. The problem is we're all homeless. Every one of them. And you think I'm making that up? No, they don't tell you that. Every one of them was homeless. Let me see if I can give you the quick story on this one so you can see this. I will show you that every one of the people that they're talking about, and this is what happened here in New York, in the city, they were homeless and or had mental illness, and both. All right.
On the other big story that we're following tonight, an arrest in a deadly stabbing spree on the subway. Police believe that this man attacked 4 people in a 24-hour rampage, leaving a trail of blood on the A train. And investigators believe he attacked his victims with this knife.
I don't know. How could he kill people? Because it's not a gun. 2
people are dead. News 4's Adam Harding is live with new information on how police caught that man.
He left a trail of blood. I'm not taking anything away from cops. I mean, you got to investigate. But like my daughter could have figured that one out. He was literally on a camera and left a trail of blood as he was walking. Not the hardest guy to find.
Adam?
Gilma, good evening to you. We're still waiting to see if he'll go before a judge in the courthouse behind us tonight. He had to undergo a series of evaluations. Here's what we know tonight. The NYPD is crediting great detective work for quickly tracking down this suspect.
Great
they
detective
had
work.
Pictures and images from his alleged crime spree underground on the A line.
They have pictures and a trail of blood. Look, I get it. This isn't great. This is just regular police work, which is good. Thank God.
We saw a man wearing the exact same clothes not far from a precinct last night and took him into custody.
There we go.
In big, bold red letters, apprehended.
There's a picture of the guy.
The NYPD tonight releasing our first look at 21-year-old Rigoberto Lopez, the man accused of going on a vicious stabbing spree up and down the A line, killing 2 and injuring 2 others. Police tonight say they recovered this knife when Lopez was taken into custody.
Had a knife on him.
I take the A train every day, back and forth all day, and it's scary as hell.
Passengers tonight horrified by the crimes that spanned roughly 14 hours. Police say the first attack happened just before
killed 2 people,
Friday. A
injured 2 people.
67-year-old man stabbed at the West 181st Street subway station. He was rushed to the hospital. 12 hours later, an adult man found dead in Far Rockaway.
He was already dead when they found him.
After one Saturday morning, a 44-year-old woman found dead at a stop in Inwood. And minutes later, a 4th victim, a 43-year-old man stabbed also at West 181st.
All of them were homeless.
He survived.
They were all unprovoked attacks. The victims had nothing, they didn't initiate anything.
Police so far aren't discussing a motive, but believe all 4 victims are homeless.
Yes, all 4 are homeless. So what happens when you have people who are homeless and mentally ill on the subway? Bad things happen. Why are they all on the subway? Because it's cold outside and homeless people don't want to be outside when it's literally snow on the ground. That's the problem. No one's in with the actual issue. You know what would make these people not be in the subway, fighting over heaters, fighting over cars, fighting over panhandling? You know what would stop that? If they were allowed to have tiny homes in New York City. Again, on LarrySharpe.com. Allow them to have tiny homes, and all of a sudden they could go to their home when it's cold and they're not on the subway, and we have to put 1,000 more cops into the subway system.
Investigators say Lopez has at least 4 prior arrests, including assault. They say he has a history of mental illness.
Yes, you're not making the people with mental illness any better by locking us down, by making their lives worse and harder. The answer?
Clear.
Knife control.
Our current approach to handling subway crimes isn't working.
This guy had to look down and read, our current isn't working. You had to think about that one. You had to read that one. I do every one of my shows live without notes. And somehow you, who are president of this guy's the borough president of Brooklyn, that guy had to look down and go, I can't read this. It's not working. That's the embarrassing leadership I have in my city.
Even with a decrease in ridership, there has been a recent surge in violence at subway stations.
Yes.
One council member says she had her own close call this week when she tried to give someone money.
To a homeless person. She's giving money. The people who are fighting are the homeless people who are cold because it's freezing in New York City, and they don't want to go to the shelters because the shelters are so bad, they're more violent than the subways. So they'd rather be in the subway than in the shelter. That's how bad it is. Our system is so broken, but no one brings this up. And she is so ignorant. She's in charge. She could do something. What does she do? Gives money to the homeless person because that helps. No, it makes her feel better while she does nothing about it. And now how dare the peasant that I was giving my crumbs to, how dare him try to stab me or yell at me or come at me or whatever? How dare that peasant that I give my crumbs to? Why don't you instead fix it?
I extended myself to give him the money. He lunged at me as if it was not about the money at all.
It isn't.
It was about attacking me.
No, it wasn't about attacking you. It's about that person having mental illness and having to be in the subway. That's what it's about.
City leaders tonight are calling for changes. Passengers say there is some relief, knowing the accused killer is now off the streets.
See, now he's off the streets. Now we got justice. He's off the streets
but
now.
It's so scary to know that this happens, so kind of have to keep your wits about you going forward.
Yeah.
And tonight, that suspect facing a number of charges, including murder. And then there is this tonight from the MTA and the head of the city's transit, the interim president. Tonight, they are calling for the mayor to provide an additional 1,000 police officers to patrol.
Because that'll solve it.
And the
bus we defund them.
Gilma, that's on top of the 500 additional officers the NYPD announced just
1,500 more.
Tonight in Lower
That'll work. Don't fix the problem. Throw more cops at it.
Of course. Thank you, Adam. And new tonight in Manhattan, another man was stabbed on a subway train.
Homeless man.
The NYPD says that this happened between 34th and 42nd Streets today. And we're told two homeless men were arguing about panhandling when
and you see, if you are in New York, you see them do it all the time. Right? There are so many homeless people now out there. They argue, I'm not joking, over turf, over territory. They argue over begging territory. That's what they argue over. This my corner. And boom, a knife comes out. That's real. That's a thing that happens. So for these people to say, well, there's no way that, there was no reason. Yeah, there was. Yeah. We have incompetent mayors and incompetent governors who won't actually do anything to fix our problems. Yeah. Look, I'm not against cops being in the subways. Fine, there should be cops in the subways. I'm agreeing. But why are we now asking cops to do this now too? Because you know what, cops, they don't have enough to do. Let's defund them and give them more to do. Because that's the right answer. Or we could work on our actual homeless and mental health problems. We could do that. That's the hard work that no one wants to do. That's the hard work. And you could actually get others to do it for you. Imagine for a second if those tracks right now were being repaired because they're being rented out, the lines being rented out by Amazon, by UPS, by FedEx, by Amazon Prime, by all the companies that are making a killing right now. Home Depot bringing stuff in and out. All those companies. They're going to put up with homelessness? Of course not. They would sponsor a shelter. That's what they would do. They would sponsor tiny homes. There would be a tiny home basically building that they will create, and they sponsor, put the name on top of it. Of course they would. They would literally sponsor it. Again, LarrySharpe.com. That's the homeless solution I talked about 3 years ago. If we had put this stuff into place now, this problem doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. I know I'm being a nudge, but I'm fired up because I'm bothered because now they're putting other people on, and I've been talking about stuff that I gave them answers to. His people are listening, and that's it.
To patrol subways and buses. As you remember, the MTA began calling for additional police officers in the system well over a year ago.
Yeah, because it was bad then. Yeah. That's why I was giving you the answer to fix it.
And it was the right call then, and it remains the right call now.
It was the wrong call then and the wrong call now.
However, we also need more mental health resources from the city of New York dedicated to address the growing crisis facing the city.
So let's just throw more money at it. You know what we need? More money. Because if we just throw more money at it, New York City's budget, for those of you who don't know, New York City's budget is over $90 billion, over a B. Over $90 billion. That's more, that city is more than all of Florida. All of Florida. Florida's budget's less. The state of Florida has more people than all of New York State. Yet New York City's budget's bigger than it. And Florida doesn't have state income tax. How does that work?
So that those suffering have access to the critical services they need and
he has to read this too.
We and our customers and our employees need the city to meet its obligations on both these fronts.
Yeah.
Additionally, this additional infusion of police officers
will make magic.
Be crucial.
No, it won't.
As we were planning
it will change nothing because you will still have homeless people who don't care about being arrested. If you're homeless with mental illness, you don't care about being arrested. In fact, if you get arrested, now you get 3 hot meals. You don't understand how bad it is. And if you are violent because you have mental illness, you actually fit in and you make your mental illness worse. The biggest mental health facility in New York State is the prison system. I'm not making that up. There's no hyperbole there. That's a fact. So just going back to the facility that the state gives them, which is the prison system. Stop this. It's a lie. Stop talking like you care or that you know any better. You either don't care or you're incompetent. Both are bad.
phased reopening of the subways coinciding with the gradual reopening of the city of New York.
You're just so busy kissing this butt.
We are seeing positive trends, as you just outlined,
No,
Governor,
you're not. Stop
with
lying.
the deployment of the vaccine,
Stop lying.
a drop in the infection rate, the resumption of indoor dining, extended hours for bars and restaurants, and the reopening of stadia and...
Yeah, the reopening of bars and restaurants. I love that one. You know where all the people come from, all the deaths come from, nursing homes. Keep those bars and restaurants closed.
Arenas. And today we are announcing the goal of beginning a phased reopening of the subway on Monday morning.
Oh my God.
February 22nd.
Monday morning.
As we all know, the subways have been closed overnight from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. since May 6th.
Yep.
But under this plan's change, the subways will stay open until 2 a.m.
Whoa.
And reopen at 4 a.m.
Way different.
At
Let's
the
have a
same
press
time,
conference on
this
that.
2-hour service suspension will allow us to continue our enhanced disinfecting regime.
It's just embarrassing.
Which has led the subways to be the cleanest they've ever been.
Yeah.
We will never stop doing everything we can to protect riders.
Yes, you will, because you're going to run out of money. Let's move on. You're full of it.
Commissioner Shea over the weekend, plus the additional 1,000 officers requested by us over the weekend, would bring the number of officers in the Transit Bureau.
I want to make sure you're clear. People were killed, homeless people were killed over the weekend and are still stabbing each other. And all they can do is say, we're going to add a couple more hours of work and we're going to add more cops. This is supposedly our best and brightest. This is our best and brightest. These are the people that New York State's going, you know what? They'll save us. If this was a private company and I'm the CEO, if I'm on the executive board at all, and these are my people give me these answers, the first thing I'd ask you is, why are you even here? Your plan is more money. You don't get more money. Fix it. You're supposedly professionals. Fix it. As entrepreneurs and business people, you don't get to just make more money magically. You have to produce something that has value. You have a budget. You got to fix your problems within a budget. Not these guys. You know what we need to do? More money. That'll work. It doesn't ever work. Yet we keep saying it does. This is really bad. I'm going to pass these guys because it just drives me crazy. I'm done talking about them. Let me move on.
Talk about public safety. We mandated last year.
Yeah, what'd you mandate?
After the George Floyd killing, every locality has to come up with a new public safety plan.
They mandated after the George Floyd killing that every locality has to come up with a public safety plan. Because you know what was happening across New York State? George Floyd. Oh, wait, he wasn't in New York State, was he? Oh, it was. Well, no, that wasn't happening. Huh. Did anything happen on your watch that would make you think about public safety? Huh. That could be local. So public safety should be local? I'm confused by this guy. He decides that after George Floyd, now we're going to allow everyone to do local public safety. Yet all you talk about is control from the center. Yeah, I think you're just making stuff up now.
It'll be different in different parts of the state, but we have 500 jurisdictions that have police departments.
Okay.
And I get the tension between the community and the police department.
Okay.
And there is no easy answer, and there is no one size fits all. But
there's no one size fits all? Wow. You are becoming more libertarian by the day. I love this. All right, my man, keep going. Don't stop now.
You can't ignore the tension. Okay. Ignoring a problem will never solve the problem.
You mean like the nursing home problem you ignored? Kind of like that, and then you wrote that book that didn't have anything about the nursing homes in it? Like doing that?
That is true in life, and that is true in society,
Sun
and that
Tzu.
is true in government.
You are
so put
my
people
Dalai
at the
Lama.
Table, let them vent their issues, and they will vent.
Yeah, then what?
But then let's come to a collaborative and a consensus, and let's move on. Many local governments are doing a great job.
Oh.
And again, this is a nationwide problem.
Nationwide.
It's New York's mandate to lead the way.
Is that right?
Many local governments are doing a great job.
I didn't hear that.
I applaud the New York City Council for putting out a set of proposals.
New York City Council just defunded the cops $1 billion. That's your proposal? Okay.
I think that's a positive step
I'm
forward.
not sure that's true.
But you now have to come to an agreement and get a bill signed. And that's by April 1. And April 1, tick, 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 45 days to complete.
Now watch this one. He's going to legalize cannabis now.
We're also going to be sending amendments to our state budget.
Now, let me be very clear about how this works in New York State. You would think that in most states, what happens is someone puts up a bill, and then the Congress, the Assembly, then votes on that bill. The Senate then votes on that bill, and the governor signs that bill. That's what most of us learned in school. That's not how New York works. New York works with, what do you want to do? I don't know. Let's put it in the budget. Okay, it's in the budget. That's how New York works. So if we legalize marijuana, cannabis, it won't be through like a bill. No, it'll be in our budget. That's how New York is so corrupt. We literally don't even go through the regular process anymore. That's how bad we are. Listen, I'm not making this up. This is going to be going to our budget. It's how we make our bills now, through the budget.
It's also due April 1. We have had conversations about legalizing recreational marijuana.
Right.
We don't have an agreement yet, but I believe we're making progress.
Okay, I have an idea. Regulate it like onions. Something I said 3 years ago. Regulate it like onions and move on and give our farmers a break in New York State. How about that? Do that, but you can't, because he has to make sure that his cronies are able to take advantage of it, just like he did with the bit license. For those of you who don't know, in New York State, we made a bit license. A guy named Lawsky, that's the guy's name. He was running everything. He then created this bit license while he was running the finance department in New York State. I'm not joking. While he was doing it, he created an insane web, a maze to get a bit license. Then he resigned and became a consultant to get people through this maze, and now they pay him basically to get a bit license. I'm talking grift level, like A+ grift level, right there. Boom. What a grifter. Goes in, creates the maze, and then comes out and has to get paid as a consultant to get people through the maze. He has to charge literally 6 figures. 6 figures he has to charge so that only his cronies and buddies get on board. This is what we're trying to achieve here. He has to find the appropriate maze to make sure there's still a black market, right? He has to make sure there's still a black market, and his actual buddies and cronies who will donate money to him will be able to only get the benefits of this. This has to crush small farmers. If it doesn't crush small farmers, we can't make that happen. That's not how he works.
I'm sending an amended bill. Legalizing recreational marijuana is something we've tried to do for several years.
Why not?
It is overdue,
yes,
in my opinion.
Your opinion. You're the governor. You can executive order, I got to stay in my house. That you could executive order. You could executive order the destruction of over 60,000 small businesses across my state. You could executive order the deaths of thousands of elderly people as you sent them to nursing homes. That you have no problem executive ordering. But cannabis, I mean, how could I just tell my people just stop enforcing the law? I mean, I can't do that. That's a bridge too far for you. That's a bridge too far for you. Yeah, because if you just told them don't enforce it and then would allow it just by default become decriminalized, you can't get cash out of that. And that you can't have.
People who are incarcerated for crimes.
Now you care.
That frankly, they shouldn't.
Pardon them. That is literally your ability to do so. Today. Pardon them. I love how it's, what can I do? I don't know. Oh, if only we could. You could do both of those things today. And you will do none of them. You will blame others, as you always do.
Have a record on. We also need the revenue for legalizing recreational cannabis.
Got to get that cash. Money grab.
It is a controversial topic.
Yep.
It's a controversial and a difficult vote.
It
I
is.
Get it. I believe if we don't have it done by the budget, we're not going to get it done.
Now think about that. If we don't get it done by the budget, we're not going to get it done. Think about that. Why not? One, he still has all of his executive powers, so he could just do it if he wanted to. He can make the budget an emergency and just do it now. So one, he could just do it, but he won't. Two, couldn't you just, I don't know, submit a bill in the summer or in the spring or anytime? No, because New York State is so broken as a state that if it doesn't go in the budget, it doesn't get done. And for you people who aren't in New York State, this is obviously like crazy. You don't get how could a state be so broken? You're watching it. He said if you don't get it in the budget, you can't do it. You can't pass a law unless it's in the budget in April. That's how New York State works. That's why they have to give him executive powers. Our legislative body has surrendered all of its powers. They're basically a rubber stamp. They've surrendered their executive powers. Their actual powers. Now it's all his.
And I think it would be a failing if we don't get it done this year. And I think that would be a mistake.
Well, you could fix it.
So we're sending up a new bill that reflects the conversations we've had.
You could just fix it yourself.
But I'm hopeful.
You shouldn't be. Just do it.
We can come to an agreement and we can get it done. But I believe, because I've seen this movie before.
You have.
If we don't get it done by April 1, we won't get it done. And again, that's 45 days.
That's your poor leadership.
45 days sounds like a long period of time. In government, 45 days is a blink of an eye.
That's for sure. Now, watching about the emergency powers. For those of you who don't know this, now finally our Congress, our assembly is now starting to think about maybe we should do something kind of symbolic against him. They're not calling for an investigation because he might get in trouble. We can't do that. They're not calling for him to be impeached because we can't do that. He is our king. So they're saying we might take away your emergency powers. Not that it matters because he'll do executive orders anyway and they won't stop him. But that's the symbolic thing they may do. But he is so, instead of him saying, you know what? I messed up. Take the emergency powers. It's fine. It's fine. No, he can't have it because he's insulted. So watch him defend his emergency powers.
On my emergency powers, first, emergency powers have nothing to do with nursing homes.
Nothing to do with nursing homes. So you can't hit me on that one. Nothing to do with it, even though I murdered those people. But so, that wasn't emergency powers. That was just me being me.
I have taken hundreds of actions. The legislature can reverse any action that I take.
Yep. That's just
not
true.
Even by a bill, just by passing 50% of the Assembly and the Senate.
But they won't because you will punish them all. They're all afraid of you, so they won't do that. That's why they won't do any real attacks on you whatsoever. They'll shake their fists like they're mad and then do nothing. So all of the Democrats will do nothing, and half of the Republicans will do nothing. There's a little chunk of Republicans who might do something, maybe, but they're so small they have no actual power.
They have never reversed a single action.
So therefore, I'm God.
The virus cannot be managed by state boundaries.
Nor by you.
We've learned that. It can't be managed by county boundaries.
Not by
learned
you.
that.
Yep.
I've always consulted with the legislature. I consult with other politicians. I have no problem consulting with the legislature.
And then ignoring them.
Anyone who wants to stand up and raise their hand and say, here's my position.
I will punish them.
Great.
I'll punish you.
These are public health decisions.
Yep.
They're not local political decisions.
See that?
And they have to be made on a public health basis. This virus is serious. And I understand these decisions are difficult politically. I get that. It's difficult to close schools. It's difficult to close restaurants.
It wasn't hard at all. You did it like that. That wasn't difficult. You did it like that. You just shut them all down. I don't know what you're saying, difficult. You had no problem. You shut them down a whole faster than anybody else. It was simple. Stop. It was easy for you.
It's difficult to impose curfews.
Nope, you did it.
But otherwise, people die.
They died anyway. 45,000 of them in New York State with all your horrible rules, regulations, and laws. And according to your words, 96% of them were over 65 with a comorbidity. Your words, not mine. You said that a couple weeks ago. So if 96% of them had that problem, why'd you shut down all the things that were so hard for you to shut down? Yeah, you've just made this up. You walk down a road and now you can't unwalk it. So now you just double down.
And these decisions should not be politicized.
Oh, you didn't do that.
If you made these decisions by a poll,
what happened?
None of them would happen.
Oh, so what he just said, be clear. What he just said is, you two, all of you people, you're too damn stupid to decide. But guess what happened? They died anyway. If you just said, if you made a poll, none of it would happen. How do you know that? You've decided that we're all too stupid. Okay, I got it, Your Highness. We're all too dumb.
And more people would die.
He made that up. He literally just made that up. If we didn't buy a poll, we wouldn't have decided more people would die. He has zero evidence of that. He just made that up. And let me give you the evidence to the contrary, my friend. I'm sorry, I don't want to call you friend because I just threw up my mouth a little bit. I'm sorry, my liege, my Lord and Master, Your Majesty. Let me give you something to chew on. Florida, more people than us, higher population of elderly people, more elderly people overall, half our budget, less lockdowns, only about a couple of weeks total of lockdowns, less deaths in every way you look at it. Weird. And major cities, big cities. How do you know that there will be less deaths? You don't.
I want to clarify facts on the nursing homes.
The nursing home, the facts here.
Which has been an ongoing discussion.
It has.
New York, as everybody knows, was ground zero for COVID, and nursing homes were and still are ground zero for COVID. And losing a loved one is very, very painful.
This is literally what I told him to do. This is what I said to do last week. Dude, stop defending yourself and tell people how hard it is. These people are watching my stuff.
Losing a loved one in a nursing home during this situation was extraordinarily painful.
Yes.
There was no visitation. You couldn't be with the person. You couldn't talk to the person.
Your choice.
It was hard to get them on the phone.
Yep.
People in nursing homes are not as conversant and facile on Zooms and on FaceTime.
Thank you. It's nice.
It doesn't work that way.
I like that.
So I understand fully
where's the buck
how difficult it has been. And I want to make sure people have all the facts.
See, you could have just stopped there, but he can't. His people were like, let's just say that and then just shut up and walk away. Can we do that, Your Highness, Your Majesty? And he was like, no, the peasants must know how awesome I am. The peasants must know that I am a god. That's what he's going to say right now because he couldn't just leave it there.
Facts.
Tell me the
information. Facts. This past year, there is a toxic political environment.
I didn't notice. Man, you are like a Sherpa. You know exactly where to guide us in everything. My Dalai Lama.
And everything gets politicized.
Not you, then.
And there's political spin.
Yeah.
And then there are facts.
Oh, when they're separate.
Two very different things.
Thank you.
I just want to make sure people have facts.
Okay, tell me the facts.
Last August, the Department of Justice sent a letter to Democratic governors. 4 of them, New York, New Jersey, Michigan, Pennsylvania.
Okay, why'd you have to say Democratic governors? Just 4 governors. It wasn't all the Democratic governors. It was just 4 governors. You could have just said 4 states. That's fine.
Asking for information on public nursing homes.
I'm glad that you didn't politicize that.
New York State Legislature also sent a letter asking for information on nursing homes.
Look at that.
We paused the state legislators' request.
So you can just like pause stuff? So when the state government asks me for stuff, I'm just gonna pause it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pause it. Yeah. You owe me money, Larry Sharpe. I'm gonna pause your request, legislature. I'm gonna copy His Majesty King Andrew Cuomo II. Oh, hail King. And I'm gonna pause your request. I'm not gonna ignore it. I'm not gonna tell you to shove it. I'm gonna pause it. That's what I'm gonna do. I love that. Well done. I'm just going to pause some stuff over here. Love that.
While we were finishing the DOJ request.
Because that request was horrible.
We told both houses.
Told them both.
The Assembly and the Senate that we had DOJ requests for information.
Well, I got to pay federal tax. So I'm just going to pause my state tax and I'm going to send a letter to both the Assembly and the Senate. I'm good. Just pause it.
And we were prioritizing that.
I'm prioritizing my
We did give the DOJ request precedence.
Yep.
And we told both houses that.
That's all that matters.
The August request.
Yeah, tell me about it.
We replied to fully.
Mm-hmm.
Separately, DOH got a DOJ letter signed by Jeffrey Clark.
Ooh, throwing him under the bus.
Gotcha. In October.
Yeah.
Which we learned about from the New York Post.
Okay, those small people under the bus.
Get the letter.
I like that.
Post called and told us about a letter.
Okay.
And that requests information on an investigation on private nursing homes.
Those are the evil ones, the private ones.
And we have been voluntarily producing information for that on a rolling basis, recently as January 8th, as offered by DOJ, the rolling basis production.
Of course.
Second, we paused the state legislature's request.
We just paused it. That's all. I'm pausing it. That's all. The bank wants the mortgage. Tell the bank, I'm going to pause your mortgage. That's all. I got other bills. I have to have precedent. My other bills have precedent. So I'm going to pause my mortgage. And when you come after me, I'm going to say, go talk to the governor. He said we could pause stuff.
We paused the state legislature.
I love that word. I'm so going to use that.
We voluntarily complied with the DOJ request for information.
Sure.
Two very different things.
Totally different. It's like as if I had to take information and email it to person A and then email that same information to person B. Totally different. I mean, totally different. To take the information that both people want and to just email it to one and then have to email to another? I mean, come on. What is this guy, right? What is he? What is he, Google? Give him a break. Paused it.
The New York State DOH has always fully and publicly reported all COVID deaths in nursing homes and hospitals.
Well, then, if they were doing it, then why didn't anybody request anything then? They've been doing it. So they requested stuff just because?
They have always been fully reported.
Always.
Nursing homes had the most vulnerable population. We know that.
We know that.
Nationwide, 36% of the deaths are in nursing homes.
Okay.
You know what percent of the population?
The paper says 1 right there.
Are people in nursing homes?
Says
1%.
1%.
1%.
You put it there.
36%.
You gave it away. You can't do that.
New York is 34 in nursing home deaths.
Yeah, but they're only 34 when you do the bogus numbers from before. See, that's the issue. They're 34th when you do the bogus numbers from before. When you add the AG numbers, we're more like in the teens. See, things change. We're more like in the teens when all of a sudden you add the bogus numbers that you had. See, that's the problem. And the fact that other states had worse, you're a prosecutor. You know this. You act like a used car salesman or something. Stop. Well, the other guy, he killed 6 people. I only killed 5. So you got to let me go. No, you still killed 5 people, dude. You're a former prosecutor. You know this. You don't just go, we can't arrest this guy. He only killed 1 guy. That guy killed like 3. So we got to let this guy go. It's not how it works. But when it's you, that's how it works.
As a percentage of total deaths, 34 out of 50 states.
Now we're good.
New York is one of only 7 states that counts what's called presumed fatality.
He did the little air quote thing, presumed. Now, here's the funny part. I love that he said presumed, because what that means is literally he's saying not all the COVID deaths are actually COVID deaths. This is one of the first time I've actually heard them talk about this, that people just go, he died. How'd he die? I don't know. Did he have COVID? Yes. COVID death. That use the memes about and the jokes about. To defend himself, he will give away the secrets. This is how selfish he is. He won't even stay in with the little conspiracy they're all in about talking about COVID deaths. He won't even do that. He will sell them down the river by saying, presume, these crazy people with the... He's going to tell you that not all the COVID deaths are actual COVID deaths. He's actually said this.
In nursing homes, where the nursing home presumed the cause of death was COVID.
He got hit by a car. Did he have COVID? Let's presume it was COVID. Why? Why would they want to presume? Because they got reimbursed via Medicaid. Sorry, via Medicare. They got reimbursed via Medicare. Yes, reimbursed via Medicare. There was a financial incentive to presume the fatalities were COVID. If I'm not mistaken, I think someone I'm sure will correct me, but I think the hospitals got 26,000 and the nursing homes got less. Now, why would His Majesty care about that? Because his budget is shot. And you know who pays for half of the Medicare? The state does. The state has to pay for half of it. So for every one person that he sends to die in a nursing home, the state has to pay less than when he sends them into a hospital. So of course you send them all to nursing homes. You'll pay less because you know what he cared about? He chose dollars over lives. He did. Dollars over lives. He did.
To give you an example,
Tell
New
me
York
my
State,
example.
13,000 nursing home related deaths.
Yep.
That's 30% of total deaths. Pennsylvania had 11,900. That's 52% of their total deaths were in nursing homes.
Yep.
Florida, 34%.
Look at that, Florida. Why? Because Florida had less deaths, less in nursing homes, less elderly death, less death, period. And they had half our budget and nowhere near the lot. They had lockdowns for like a couple of weeks and that's it. Then they were like open. DeSantis was like, no, I'm keeping my state open. I don't want to destroy my state. Yet he had less deaths. Maybe if that polling thing you talked about we had done, maybe it would have worked. For those of you who want to know what I talked about doing, my Sharpe Way YouTube page, 10 videos, exactly what to do. If we had done that, we'd have less than Florida.
Of total deaths in nursing homes. Massachusetts,
see,
54% of
Why are you mad at him? These other people killed far more elderly
deaths. If you look at the entire country, and you look at the percentage of deaths in nursing homes, New York is number 34.
But I'm going to ask you something, my friend, my liege. What if you had not sent 6 to 7 to 8 or whatever number it was? Is it 8,000 now, 9,000, whatever number is, people back to nursing homes? Maybe we'd be number 1, maybe number 2. We wouldn't be 34. It'd be something. Maybe we'd be number 50. Maybe we'd be the bottom. I don't know. You sent these people in. Do you think about that?
You have some states that up to 73%.
See how bad they are?
People who died in nursing homes. COVID preys on senior citizens, older people, weaker people. We've always known that.
We've always known that. Now, this his words. Again, I want to show you his words. If you've always known that, why did you send them back? If you've always known that, why did you send them back?
That is a fact.
And if you know it's a fact, why'd you close the schools? Why'd you close the bars? You know that's what COVID preys on. Why are you closing things that don't affect the elderly?
Now, there is much distortion.
It's distortion
around what's called Department of Health memo on March 25th.
It's distortion is what that is.
And I want to make sure that we get the facts on this.
Please, I want to hear them.
On March 13th, Federal Center for Medicaid and Medicaid Services, what they call CMS. And on March 23rd, the Center for Disease Control,
what they do,
CDC, put out guidance sending people from hospitals back to nursing homes.
Oh, so it wasn't your fault. It was Trump's fault. There had to be, it was Trump's fault, didn't it? I mean, that kind of had to happen. I got to give it to him. He waited a long time before he got to Trump did it. He did wait. I mean, he gave us a bunch of time. Like he's like dodging, dancing. We were waiting. Like, is he going to do Trump's fault? Is he gonna? Yeah, he did. He did.
New York State DOH followed that guidance. 12 other states, at least, followed that guidance.
And other states did it. So how bad am I if the other states did it? I would ask you, Mr. Prosecutor, if my defense for my client was other people did it, would you say that's okay? You wouldn't. But for you, it's okay.
The CDC, CMS, DOH reasoning at the time, residents who were leaving the hospitals were not likely to be contagious because at that time
they weren't going to be contagious.
The viral load is so low that you're not contagious.
Well, then why are we wearing masks?
And they were going to be what's called cohorted.
Oh, they're cohorted.
Cared for in areas that are separate with other people under the right precautions.
Okay, so they're not contagious, but they're going to be cohorted. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Even though if you're not contagious, why would you want to be cohorted? But fine, I'll play your game. Let's keep going.
Patients, particularly senior citizens,
tell me,
should not remain in hospitals longer than necessary.
Okay.
Because they can get a secondary infection. That's true all across the board.
That's true. But we knew, you said, that COVID feeds in nursing homes. You said we always knew that. So, okay.
Especially with seniors. They try to get the procedures done. They try to get people out of the hospital before they can come up with a secondary infection that's problematic.
They also can't afford it. That's fine.
The patients were not sent to nursing homes.
They weren't
sent. The nursing home had to agree that they could care for this person. That is a matter of law.
It's the law. These nursing homes broke the law. So first it was Trump's fault, then it was the nursing home's fault. You know what I think we should do? Let's do a full investigation of it all. How about that? Because these nursing homes are clearly criminals. Let's do that.
They cannot accept a patient who they are not prepared to care for properly. Staff, PPE, ability to cohort.
But I thought we had just said that they weren't contagious. I thought that was the issue you just said. Yeah, see, if you're trying to give that to me and I'm a prosecutor, I'm going to make you look really bad in the stand. Luckily, no one's going to ask me a decent question because no one ever does. So no one's going to make you look bad in the stand. You're completely full of crap.
That is in the law.
The law.
If they don't do that, they violate the law.
They're criminals.
At the time, remember what was going on in March.
What was going on?
The experts were projecting that our problem and our critical need was hospital capacity.
I remember that.
We sat here every day with the hospitalization.
I was watching.
We were looking at up to 140,000 people hospitalized.
I remember how much you yelled about that, complained, and then the Army Corps of Engineers came out and built up all those beds. And then the Trump sent the boat, the USS Comfort, sent the ship out to us. I remember all that stuff because we were worried about the beds. And we didn't use them. And you know what would have made us have more beds? If you, literally you, wouldn't have all of these certificates of need, which is how you control hospitals, which again, LarrySharpe.com, if you'd made me governor in 2018, I would have ended that and hospitals could have grown on their own. And we'd have more than 50 some odd thousand hospital beds in New York State. We'd have more and we'd be able to expand. But you didn't do that. Tell me why else is someone else's fault?
We have less than 50,000 hospital beds.
How about 53,000?
That is the calamity.
That's it.
Remember.
If only there was someone in charge of hospital beds in New York State. Oh, wait, that's you.
March 25th.
Yeah, what's happening then?
That's right when the New York City Health and Hospitals, Elmhurst Hospital collapsed.
I remember.
National news.
That's walking distance to my house.
I remember it like yesterday.
Me too. I was here.
And we're watching the TV every night and watching Italy collapse and people die because they can't get into a hospital.
Yep.
We're watching China with a hospital capacity issue where they were building thousands of new hospital beds.
Building them. And what were you doing? Yeah, basically nothing.
That's what was going on.
Oh, no, you were writing your book and getting your Emmy. Sorry, you weren't doing nothing. You were writing your book, getting your Emmy. My mistake.
That's why the CDC and that's why CMS made those decisions.
They made the decisions. See, it's the federal government and Trump and it's the hospitals and it's those nursing homes. It's amazing how it's everybody's fault but yours. That's amazing. If only there was someone in charge of New York State, then maybe we could blame that guy. But clearly there's no one in charge of New York State.
And at the time,
tell me what else.
CDC, CMS,
yep.
There were White House task forces.
White House.
There were daily briefings.
Yeah, there were.
Everyone was focused on this issue.
Yeah,
this was not a little issue.
No.
All the best minds were looking at it.
Yep. Now tell me what else. How else is it not your fault? I'm sure this isn't enough. So you've got to make sure that whatever you do in the next 2-3 slides, it is clearly not your fault. That's all that matters for you. You put slides together for this.
Of the 613 nursing homes,
give it to me. Yeah.
We have 613 nursing homes in the state. 365 received a person from a hospital.
So about 60%, give or take, right?
Of the 365 that received a person from this March 25th guidance, which was then superseded in May.
All right.
98% of those 365 already had COVID in their facility.
Already had COVID. It was their fault for being bad. That's what it is. They already had COVID. So the fact that you just sent somebody from a hospital who is probably immune compromised, and the reason why you got them out of the hospital is because you're afraid of them getting an infection, you sent them into a nest that it's infected. Yeah, you're kind of burying yourself in this one. You're kind of burying yourself in this one.
COVID did not get into the nursing homes by people coming from hospitals.
We're not saying that. We're not saying that. We're saying the people shouldn't have gone into the bed. Some of them had COVID. Some of them didn't. Right? Some of the people coming had COVID. Some didn't. But they shouldn't have been there. Right? Right? Wouldn't they have been safer in a hospital? Right?
COVID got into the nursing homes by staff walking into the nursing homes.
It's those damn staff. That's what it, see, not only is it the nursing home leaders, it's the nursing home staff. They're all terrible. It's amazing how everyone around you is so incompetent except for you. Wow. I wonder how it feels for everyone else to be so inferior to you all the time. It must be taxing on you. It really must be.
When we didn't even know we had COVID.
See that? We didn't know.
Staff walking into a nursing home, even though they were asymptomatic.
That was the problem.
Because the national experts all told us you could only spread COVID if you had symptoms.
See that?
And they were wrong.
They're idiots
COVID
too.
may have been brought into a nursing home because visitors brought it in.
The damn loved ones. They suck too. Man. So experts are all idiots. The staff are clearly incompetent. The loved ones, how dare they go see their loved ones? Everybody's messing this up. Man, you need 4 more years to fix us because we're so broken.
And didn't know they were contagious because the guidance was you can only be contagious
the federal government
if you have symptoms, if you're sneezing, if you're coughing.
It was Trump's fault.
I think that to be wrong.
That's what it was. Trump did it.
That's how COVID got into the nursing home.
That's what it was. Trump did it.
98% of the people who took a person back from a hospital who was probably no longer contagious.
Yeah, you don't know if they were. That's my point. You probably, there you finally said it. Just because they already had COVID doesn't mean the person you sent didn't also have COVID, and doesn't mean now they died because you sent them back because they caught COVID there. Why don't we do an investigation? And then we'd find out what's going on with that, because either of those things is true. And none of them take you off the hook because you're the governor. And if you had a better system, this wouldn't have happened.
Already had it in the facility.
These people, they're
and
terrible.
They signed and agreed that they could handle it because they already had people who were COVID in the nursing home.
So they signed it and agreed to it because it's all their fault. See?
If you look at the rate of death.
Tell me about that rate of death. I want to know.
Before the March 25th order.
Yeah, what happened?
And after the order was rescinded.
Yeah.
The rate of death is the same.
It's the same.
By the way, if you look at the rate of death in the nursing homes, in the spring,
what happened then?
And in the second surge, the winter-fall surge, the rate of death is the same.
Okay.
These decisions are not political decisions.
They're not.
They're all made on the best information the medical professionals have at the time.
He
and
literally,
in New York,
look at him just
we
throw.
talk to the
Wow.
best.
He literally listed everyone to blame. Well done. I mean, that's gold right there. Let me show you the people you should blame. I'll put their names right here. In fact, if you need me, I'll give you email addresses and phone numbers. You can call them and complain. Just not me. So yeah, here they are blaming these people. That's the answer. The World Health Organization, by the way, says lockdowns don't work. Yeah, why do you do that? They said lockdowns don't work. I want to listen to them now.
Experts on the globe.
The globe.
And I've said to the people of the state many times.
What'd you tell me?
Nobody's been here before.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. And worse. Yes. We've had viruses before. Yeah. And some other countries. This is not rocket science. It's not. I literally learned in the Marine Corps how to deal with biological, chemical, and nuclear attacks. Yeah. We have been here before. You haven't been here before.
Nobody knows for sure. COVID is new.
It's a virus.
All giving you their best advice at the time.
Look at him now trying to defend them. See, they were so bad. They were horrible. But you know what? You know what I'm going to do? Be kind to them. All the errors they made. Listen to them. Be kind to all these people. They were doing their best. Not me. I'm not involved in this. But those people, be kind to them.
And these are really quality people.
Quality
Dr. Osterholm, Dr. Fauci, all the main institutes that were giving advice to the nation.
See how he is a generous God. He is a kind and forgiving God. We should be happy that we have him. You know, we say forgive them. Forgive them.
We had people come from the World Health Organization who dealt with China.
I thought you said never happened before.
Albany, literally, to advise us.
You just said we've never seen this before. Then you said a guy who just saw it came here. As I said, we've seen it many times. I'm surprised how no one just does this with your stuff except me. Why am I the only guy who just tears your garbage apart?
We're blessed to have Dr. Howard Zucker as our health commissioner.
He by name threw him under the bus too. Watch when the indictments come down. Zucker's gonna be like, damn it, I stood behind this guy? He's gonna stab me in the back? Yep. Watch when people get in trouble, when the lawsuits come, he is gonna throw Dr. Z, whoop, right under the bus. Watch him.
He's trained at Harvard, UPenn, Johns Hopkins, served at HHS, WHO, NIH. He teaches at Columbia. And
yeah, so when you arrest him, it's because he's incompetent. Get him. And you think I'm making this up? If you know how Cuomo works, most of his cronies and buddies, they go to jail. That's a real thing. Like if you live in New York, you know what I'm talking about. They go to jail. He doesn't pardon them. He doesn't get behind them. He throws them under the bus and he goes, I don't know what happened. I can't believe this guy who gave me $160,000 in the past 5 years, who has been throwing money to my campaign every year. I don't know how he could have done this. I'm not making this up. If you live in New York State, you know I'm telling the truth. Dr. Z, if I were you, I would consider Mexico is what I would consider is Mexico. If that doesn't work for you, France is what just my opinion is where you should be moving to real soon. Maybe if you become follow Snowden and become a Russian citizen if you want to. But this is not good for you.
Yale University.
Mm-hmm.
If we had to pay him what he was worth.
Oh, kiss of death.
We couldn't afford it.
You broke my heart, Zucker.
And
Done.
He gave his best advice on the information
he could
that
do.
he
Be good
had
to him.
at the time.
When you guys put him in jail,
I would
just
trust
be good.
Dr. Zucker with my mother's care.
Kiss of death.
That's why I trust him with your mother's care.
Okay. I'm sure I want that.
Have anyone as the health commissioner who I wouldn't trust with my mother.
Look at that.
And that's why I trust him with your mother.
All right.
To be clear,
yeah,
all the deaths in the nursing homes and in the hospitals were always fully, publicly, and accurately reported.
If that's true, why in the world did the DOJ ask for information? Why in the world did our assembly ask for information? Why in the world did the AG who ran on your ticket in 2018, why did she say it's not true? Are they all lying? All of them are lying. Every one of them are lying except you. It's a conspiracy, isn't it, against you? That's what it is.
The numbers were the numbers.
That's it.
Always.
Never changed.
People did request information beyond the place of death.
They did.
Not just how many in a nursing home, not just how many in a hospital. They did request different categorizations.
Okay.
Beyond those counts. How many people died who were in a nursing home but then went to a hospital?
Yeah, but you can figure this out.
How
this
many
is not
people
rocket science.
died who were in a hospital but then went back to a nursing home?
Okay, literally an executive assistant in any mid-sized company could calculate these numbers in 2 days. Maybe a day if they make sure him or her, if that person doesn't do anything else. But for sure in 2 days. But maybe a day if they go, you know what, don't do anything else, just do this. I'm not joking. It's 45,000 pieces of information. A computer does this in 5 seconds. And that's too much. 5 nanoseconds or whatever, milliseconds, whatever the number is. Come on, stop acting like, oh, how can we put these numbers together? Stop. YouTube is getting your enemy.
How do you count presumed COVID deaths? Everyone was busy. Everybody was here every day. We're in the midst of managing a pandemic.
You're working hard.
There was a delay in providing the press.
Let me ask you, prosecutor. Let me ask you if I was a private company. If I was a private company, I'm a CEO, and you're now asking me something. You're the Department of Justice, and you're asking me for data. And I say, look, Governor, I'd love to give you data right away. I just can't right now. I'm in the middle of COVID. I'm trying to figure out how to run my business. I'm trying to figure this out. What would you have told me? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pause it. If I told you that, I got a delay. What would you have told me? You would have said, I want it on my desk or I'm going to have a warrant for your arrest. That's what you would have told me if I was a CEO. But if it's you, it's okay. You're busy? I don't give a crap if you're busy. There's literally people trying to run 3, 4, 5 jobs to feed their families. They're busier than you, and you haven't missed a paycheck. You haven't missed a government paycheck in decades. And I mean decades, like 4 decades. You haven't missed the government check in 4 decades. And you gave yourself a raise last year. You got to work hard? Work hard. Don't sleep. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me. Don't give me I'm working hard as your excuse. You wouldn't give it to anybody else. There's not a person in this state that you would have accepted that if you were prosecuting them. Would you? Nobody. I'm working
hard. And the public, all that additional information. There was a delay. What did we learn from this entire situation?
Did you learn something?
What are we still learning?
Tell me what you learned.
There are hospitals that perform well.
Hospitals suck. That's what we learned. No, you didn't learn a thing. We learned that hospitals suck. Because what else would happen? Not that you made an error or made a mistake. No. Hospitals suck.
There are hospitals that performed less well.
Yep.
We still see hospitals performing less well.
See, that hospital still
When you look
suck.
at those vaccination numbers.
The vaccination
hospitals with the same demographics of workforce in the same region.
We learned. Hospitals suck.
With different vaccination rates of their staff.
Yep. Hospitals suck.
In this year of performance of those hospitals.
Okay.
There are nursing homes.
Nursing homes suck.
That performed well. And
this is what we learned.
Nursing homes that did not perform as well. We have to learn from it and we have to correct it before we have another surge and another pandemic. And by the way, we are going to have another pandemic.
You are Nostradamus.
As I sit here,
tell me.
I would plan on it.
No, you won't plan it.
Yes.
No, you clearly won't. I gave you plans 3 years ago and you ignored them. You will not plan on it. That's complete garbage. You will just blame others again. Lesson learned from this here. Hospitals are bad. Nursing homes are bad. But who runs the hospitals? Oh, wait, you do. You run them. So if the hospitals are bad, could be you. Nope. And nursing home people and staff, terrible.
this was never seen before.
Never
and
before.
Yes, hospitals had to deal with something they never had seen before. And yes,
it's called viruses. They've dealt with them before. Literally, they deal with them every day. Every day.
Nursing homes had to deal with something they had never seen before.
Sick old people? No, every day they deal with it.
We'll see it again.
Yes, they deal with it every day.
Now we have to learn from it before it happens again.
Oh.
Our focus, I believe, is going to be on the for-profit nursing.
Of course, the ones that you don't run. We have to beat up on the for-profit ones because private industry, never. They're always a problem. And when you think that, let's see, when it comes to vaccinations, which people have been the absolute most successful? Oh yeah, the private companies like the Walgreens, Rite Aids, and Walgreens, Rite Aids, and CVS's. Yeah, they've been doing a good job, but they're bad. Now tell me how the for-profit ones are worse. Tell me why the private market's so terrible. Come on.
Homes, hospitals, low-performing hospitals.
Yep.
But also in the for-profit nursing homes.
They're bad.
I have long believed that there's a tension in a for-profit nursing home.
Have you ever worked for-profit ever in your life? The answer will be no. So how would you know about that tension? How would you know about that? You wouldn't. But tell me.
Because
wise one.
Those institutions are trying to make money.
Making money. Hate when people try to make money. Hate that. Trying to make money. Look how they want to pay people salaries and stuff. Can you imagine that? A company that wants to pay people salaries and give them health care and give them benefits. Shut them all down. God.
If you're trying to make profit, it's too easy
to do what?
To sacrifice patient care.
Of course. Of course. If you're trying to make money, you want to kill people. Clearly. How else can you make that? Yes, it's clear. Money equals kill people. Clearly, well done. You got it. You understand the private market very well. Easy, of course. In fact, the people who kill the most are the richest. So I think Jeff Bezos, probably serial killer, is my assumption with your logic. I'm assuming that. Bill Gates, serial killer, I assume. What else? What else could be true?
Everything becomes one or the other.
There's nothing in between. You are either an evil capitalist trying to make money, or you are the saint that is government run. Oh, you are the saint that is government run. I'm with you. I am so with you.
Do you want to hire more staff?
Yeah.
Or do you want to make more profit?
No, I agree that no company ever wants to hire more people. Ever. They always want to make sure they have nobody, no one ever. They just want to make random money for nothing. Because how could you make money except, if you hire more people? Yeah, you probably can make more money if you hire more people. Or just don't hire more people and have terrible care. Because in the private market, people have to choose what place they go. So let me ask you a question. Just my savvy, smart governor that you are. The richest people who have the most money and want the most care and want to make sure their lives are saved with their wealthy old people that they love in their life. Where do they go? Government, right? No, they wouldn't. They literally would not be caught dead, literally, in a government-run facility. No, they go to a private facility. But I thought they would make money. In fact, those facilities make the most money. And guess what they have? The most care. I'm going to ask you, you put your dad and your mom in one of those? Yeah, stop. You are so full of crap. I don't know why people believe this. Are people so broken that of course, the only ones that work are the government runs. You're the absolute best facilities, like for, say, adoption agencies, Romania. They're all run by government. They're perfect. The private ones here, horrible.
Do you want to buy more PPE and stockpile more PPE, or do you want to make more profit?
Now, if you're a worker in one of these evil profit places, one of those, and you want the best doctors, the most savviest people, are they going to work without PPE? No, they're not gonna. They're going to leave.
Do you want to buy new equipment, new beds, new sheets, new furniture.
You control it in the other ones. You just said how we don't have enough, didn't have enough because you control it.
Invest in the facility.
You
or
will
do
just
you want to make
blame
more profit?
anybody. Oh my God,
that
you blame
tension
anybody. That's it.
Is a problem.
That's a problem.
And that has to be resolved legislatively.
Legislatively, we have to pass a law against for-profit nursing homes because that'll solve the problem. Can you believe this garbage? This is my governor. This is my governor. Sorry, this is my Lord and Master, His Majesty King Andrew Cuomo II. This is him. We have to pass a law to outlaw for-profit nursing homes because anything that's for-profit's clearly evil. And man, I don't know why businesses are leaving New York State. Do you hear what our governor says? Why would businesses be leaving New York State? I don't know why. Could it be because our governor literally said you can either make money or help people? And if you don't want to help people and you want to make money, you're a murderer.
Because I don't want to leave it to these for-profit owners.
To leave it to them. For-profit owners. I'm taking charge.
Decide what's right, what's wrong. Let's learn these lessons. We have to implement hospital reform and nursing reform, and we have to do it
in the budget.
In this
because you can't pass a law outside of our budget. That's how broken my state is.
COVID isn't done with us.
Yeah.
Implement the lessons now, and we're going to propose them in the 30-day amendments.
And I would ask you, of the 40 or so minutes that he spoke, at what point did he take responsibility for anything? For anything. This is the norm with him. No responsibility for anything. He spent minutes upon minutes blaming everyone else. And his end was hospitals suck, nursing homes suck, and we should end for-profit nursing homes. That's what he learned from this.
If you're a for-profit nursing home, I believe it should be mandated how much you put back into the facility and how much profit you can make.
Look at that. He's going to regulate how much money a business can make. And he's fine with that. This is my governor. You can't make that much money. You'll be killing people if you make that much money. No, the government knows how much money you should make. Everyone watching this who wonders why I talk about New York, this is your state next. I'm not joking. If he gets away with this in New York State, this is in your state next. And if he gets away with it in nursing homes, then it's car dealerships. Then it's websites. Then it's whatever you do. Don't you dare open a business, restaurant out to. He already tells restaurants how many people they can have in. Now it's how much profit you can make. That's my governor. If you let this go, New York, this will not just happen in New York. It will come to your business too, and it will come to your state. Why do you think I spend so much time doing this? Because no one else is saying this. I'm the only. You don't see CNN saying this. You don't see Fox News saying this. None of them. You see it only on this stupid show. That's the only place you see this. I'm the only one watching the worst governor in the country. I know you Californians think it's Newsom. It's not. Sorry. When it comes to bad governors, we're number one. We're number one. We got the worst one, hands down. We're now going to tell you how much profit you can make. We're going to put that in the law. Private company. You thought that you had the right to have private property. You don't. You thought you had the right to make a living. You don't. You thought you had the right to make as much money from your labor. You don't. And he just said so. And he just showed you. And New York's going to sit back and take it. And if you guys sit back and take this, you Republicans of New York, if you take this, shame on you, you deserve it. You deserve it. You should have backed me in 2018. I told you to back me, and you played your stupid game, Republican Party in New York State. And we could win. I told you all a bunch of morons for thinking that. You're like, no, we could win. You can't win. You can't beat them. Only an outsider can beat them. I told you that in 2018. You should have listened to me then. And if I run again, you better listen to me now. That's the only way you get rid of this guy.
I believe that.
I know you do.
Nursing home, hospitals that have these issues, they have to improve, and we have to take it into consideration when there's a surge.
Look at that.
If
there's
hospitals an influx into hospitals, not all hospitals can handle it equally.
Yeah.
And that's why you saw some hospitals failed.
Hospitals suck.
If you could do it all over again.
Yeah, what would you do?
Just rewind the tape.
Yep.
I understand the public had many questions and concerns, and the press had many questions about nursing homes primarily.
Yeah.
And I understand that they were not answered quickly.
They weren't. Well, you paused them.
And they should have been prioritized.
You paused them.
And prioritized those requests sooner. I believe that. I understand the reasons. I understand that there was a lot going on. Everybody was working 24 hours a day.
Oh, you were working so hard. Not missing a paycheck and giving yourself a raise. Oh, my heart is bleeding for you. Oh, my God, bleeding for you. Yes, I know. You were working hard. No one else in New York State works hard to survive. No one else in New York State is working hard to pay your salary. Literally, to pay your salary. No one else is. Only you. You're working hard.
Everybody was overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. Nobody else.
We were in the midst of dealing with a pandemic and trying to save lives.
But you were failing at that one. The saving lives part, yeah, you kind of failed at that one.
They were answering DOJ. And nursing homes and the hospitals.
What they do wrong.
Were also in the middle of hell, in the middle of a pandemic.
But you just blamed them, and now you're ready to literally put the law against them, to hurt them. You're prepared to punish them for that. Why won't you get punished? If you can punish them, exactly my point. If it's so hard for you, wasn't it hard for them too? No.
And they were scrambling, and they were managing the crisis.
Yep.
I understand all of that.
Yep.
But
tell me what happened.
The void we created by not providing information was filled with skepticism and cynicism and conspiracy theories, which furthered the confusion.
Now, let me ask you something, my friend. Why? You've been a governor for 10 years, now 11 years in New York State. So you don't give enough information fast enough. You paused it. Great word, by the way. I'm so going to steal that from you. You paused it for a couple of months. Why would people all of a sudden think about skepticism, cynicism, conspiracy? Why? Because this isn't the first time you've been accused of corruption. This is like the 495th time you've been accused of corruption. Your administration has been shady for years. That's why people didn't trust you. People all around you go to jail. That's not joking. They go to jail all around you all the time. So yeah, and there's been corruption. Every single one of your plans has failed. And let me be very clear. I don't mean that with hyperbole. I don't mean 90%. I mean every single one of them has failed. Yeah, we kind of don't trust you anymore. Yeah, it's kind of you, not us.
Nature abhors a vacuum.
It does. We abhor you.
So does the political system.
Yeah.
You don't provide information.
Yeah.
Something will provide the information.
That's true.
Most of all, the void we created allowed disinformation.
Disinformation.
And that created more anxieties for the families of loved ones. I've had hundreds of conversations. People couldn't get into the facility to see their loved one. They couldn't get them on the phone.
Tell me you're sorry.
Staff on the phone to
Tell me you're sorry.
They were powerless. They were helpless.
Stop telling me what everybody knows and tell me that you're sorry for it.
They were literally physically removed and isolated.
Yeah? Your rules.
Loved ones died alone.
Your rules. You made that happen.
Died alone.
Stop repeating it.
Fathers,
you did it.
Mothers, brothers,
we know who they are.
Died alone.
I know how that works. Yes.
It was horrific.
Tell me how sorry you are.
It was horrific.
Tell me you're sorry.
And then the void in information that we created.
You can't say you're sorry.
Started misinformation, disinformation, conspiracy theories.
So then it became about you. I was hoping for a second. I was like, come on, you're going to be human. You're not going to be the megalomaniac sociopath that you always are. You're actually going to say, and I'm sorry about that. I didn't want it to happen. I'm sorry. Nope.
And now people have to hear that.
He spun it back
and
to him.
And they don't know what is the truth.
Oh, the problem was the disinformation people. It was those people who did it. The conspiracy people did it. They're at fault too. Man, you have found everybody. I guess QAnon is doing it. Is that the conspiracy people? Okay. Lizard people?
The truth is everybody did everything they could. The truth is you had the best medical professionals and advice on the globe.
So we shouldn't punish them that much?
The truth is it was in the middle of a terrible pandemic.
You were working hard.
The truth is COVID attacks senior citizens.
Yep.
The truth is...
Tell me you're sorry.
With all we know...
Yeah?
People still die in nursing homes.
They do.
Today.
Yep.
People still die every day.
I know. That's all lives matter.
Testing the staff twice a week.
You literally just all lives mattered us. You just all lives mattered us. My mom died in a nursing home. Yeah, but people all die in a living room. You just all lives mattered us. You're the one who can't stand all lives matter, and you just all lives mattered us. Okay. Not hypocritical at all.
There's no visitation. People still die.
But they make die worse because
you would have to hermetically seal a nursing home. They actually tried this in France.
No, we're not. I'm not asking you to hermetically seal a nursing home. I'm not. I'm asking a couple things of you. One, to just be a human being and say you're sorry. That would be nice. I mean, to show you're not, to shock me and surprise me that you're not the sociopath megalomaniac that I think, that I know you are. To shock me and shock my audience. Go, wow, the guy is a human being, or at least he can pretend to be one on TV. One of the two. Or just say, I shouldn't have sent those people back to the nursing home. I shouldn't have listened. I should not have listened.
Where the staff lived in the nursing home.
Yeah? Then what happened? Tell me.
Anybody can bring it in.
Anybody could.
The delivery man brings it in.
Delivery man, he did it. You just keep finding. Why don't you make a list of all the people to blame? In fact, it'd be easier to list people you're not blaming. I guess you and your kids, I guess, are the only people you're not blaming. You threw your own doctor under the bus, so.
The heating repairman brings it in.
The repairman did it.
The food service brings it in.
Food service did it.
Staff person goes home.
Yeah, then what do you do?
Meets with their family. Someone in the family has it.
The family
comes back. The staff member brings it in.
Staff's family.
Even when you're testing twice a week.
Oh.
Twice a week. You'll get people who have it, and you'll miss them in the twice a week.
Look at that.
That is the reality.
Okay. Are you sorry?
But. Not providing the information creates the void. The void allowed misinformation and conspiracy.
Those conspiracy.
And now people are left with the thought of, did my loved one have to die?
Yeah, they are.
And that is a brutal.
Oh, I didn't know that was brutal.
Brutal question
Dalai
to
Lama.
pose to a person.
Thank you for that. Tell me you're sorry.
And I want everyone to know everything was done.
Oh, no. You're not. No. Everything
was done.
Are you sorry?
By the best minds in the best interest.
Are you sorry?
And the last thing.
Okay, you're sorry.
That we wanted to do. The last thing that I wanted to do.
Okay.
Was to aggravate a terrible situation.
So you're sorry.
There is no good answer.
Yeah, there is.
A loved one.
No, there's a good one. I'm sorry.
I lost my father years ago.
About you again. Sorry.
I still go through it over.
It's about you
and
again.
Over again.
I apologize.
What should I have done? What could I have done? What should I have said to the doctor? I probably always will. Last thing I wanted to do was to aggravate that for anyone.
And you're sorry.
With that, let's take questions.
Couldn't say you're sorry, could you? Wow, you're a bad human being.
If you'd like to ask a question, please use the raise hand function at the bottom of your window.
Oh my God, you're a bad human being.
Roster.
You could just say you're sorry. An hour to not say you're sorry. Wow. You blew me away again.
First question comes from Steve Burns at WCBS 880. Steve, your line is now open. Please unmute your microphone.
Steve, ask him a hard question. Come on, brother. You can do this. Hard question. You can do this.
Governor, can you hear me?
Hey, Steve. How you doing, buddy? Happy President's Day.
Same to you and everyone there. Thank you. A couple of questions for you. First, regarding the nursing home information.
Oh, shocker.
Given that the explanation has been that there was the DOJ request that had to be handled first. The legislature, I've seen a few tweets from some lawmakers saying,
all right,
basically, why didn't DOH inform the legislature?
I'm not going to go any further with this. You guys know he doesn't ask anything. I'm going to grab a couple comments. There's so many of them out there. Thank you guys so much for putting up with me just yelling about my governor. But I had to bring this up. This is what everyone's talking about. And no one else, you can't go on TV and see this. This is the only place you see this. No one else talks about this at all. At all. If we said we were scared of getting in trouble at work when we messed up, we're fired. But his administration is okay because they were afraid of the feds getting off your flipping throat jerk. Yes. Julie, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yes. Put him and his friends in handcuffs now. That will be nice, Brett. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. 100%. All right. I have watched inmates in my job receive better treatment and more rights than my own mother received during this pandemic. I wish you were wrong, Brandon, but you're right. You're right. Absolutely. That's an accurate statement. 100%. Why does Cuomo always sound so condescending when he addresses everyone? He can't help himself. Is it deliberate, or does he really and truly not realize he's doing it? He doesn't realize it at all. It's who he is. He actually doesn't like you or anyone else. He actually thinks everyone else is stupid. He actually said, if we'd have done this by a poll, more people would have died, because clearly we're all too stupid to know any better. Absolutely. Paused by executive order granted to him by them. There you go. It's your own legislator's fault. Tim, thank you. Thank you. If you are a New Yorker and you're unhappy with what he's doing, ask yourself this question. Did your legislator vote to make him do that, to give him that power? If your legislator did, you're talking to the wrong person. You're talking to your actual legislator. 100%. Yes. Dude killed people. Yes, Jay. That is correct. Yes. Yep. Everyone has to pay the piper. Cuomo's are numbered. Christine, I hope you're right. I worry sometimes. Sometimes karma just takes way too long to have its arc, hit. So, wow. I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. Recall Cuomo. Not going to happen. Absolutely. Larry, how would you have handled the pandemic differently than Cuomo? How would the pandemic have affected your agenda had you been elected? Just to be clear, Isaac, for those of you who care, you can head over to my Sharpe Way YouTube page, and I literally put 10 videos, exactly what I would do, how I pay for it, the whole deal is all there. Sharpe Way, it's a separate playlist that says COVID-19 response, March 2020. I put my plan out March of last year. So my plan was already there. It was already there. And I've covered it many times in interviews, and I do it often. I say exactly what I would have done. I would do it again. And everything I mentioned, the other things I mentioned, we wouldn't be having all these problems. My policies are out there. My LarrySharpe.com is my policy on the MTA, on the hospitals. It's already there. If we had done what I said in 2018, we wouldn't have had half these problems at all. So, all right. Voluntarily comply with the DOJ request. Can I do that? No, David, you can't. No, he can. He can pause stuff just because. He can just pause stuff. He can voluntarily comply. I love that. So when the Department of Justice subpoenas me, you know what? I'll voluntarily comply. Maybe I'll just pause it. That's it. Yeah, terrible. Absolutely. Partially of that reason, because governors like you and Wolf put COVID patients in nursing homes with the most vulnerable population. Yes, Matt, it doesn't necessarily matter, who and when they got COVID. They got COVID and they were vulnerable. Yes. Glad I never voted for him. You should run again, Larry. You might have a chance if you can market yourself better. We'll see, brother. I got to raise money, right? I got to raise money. I have several thousand people watching this show. I need tens of thousands watching this show. That's what I really need. So, guys, if you want to happen, then do me a favor. Like, comment, share. If you care, like, comment, share. If you want me to run and make this happen like he says, great. Head over to Patreon and sponsor the show so I can get more stuff out there. Patreon.com/SharpeWay. Do that. Throw some bucks my way so I can keep doing this. So if you want that, please do that. I think you're right. I agree with you. Yes. So why did they knowingly put COVID patients in nursing homes? Isn't that negligent manslaughter if not premeditated murder? Well, the funny part is, he literally said these nursing homes are all about money. That's what he said. And yet one of the reasons why he does it, is because there's less payout from the state if the people are taken care of in nursing home for Medicare. So he did the same thing. Absolutely. So, all right. Some people died from something besides COVID. I know, Paula, crazy, but they did. He actually admitted it at least, right? Actually said it. Yes, absolutely. So, it's been long enough for them to be able to reveal their scheme. What a joke. There's a part that's true, right? I mean, yeah, it's terrible. Uncle Andy would endorse you, Larry, if he thought you could and would save his hide. That's true. He would. Absolutely. You are exactly correct. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. So, all right. The state needs to pay Medicare back all that money. Yes, but it's actually in our state's half. I don't know how your state works. In Nevada, I'm assuming you're in Nevada because you have Las Vegas there. But in our state's half. Half of that money comes back. They don't want to pay it. Yes. So, sounds a little like he doesn't plan on resigning. Yeah, I think you're right on that one. Absolutely. So is Cuomo actually downplaying deaths? And he did this after all the compassion over deaths? Larry, I think you're going to need to run. I think, yeah, there's a problem. Yes. Yes. How do we get him removed from office? We don't, Janice. It doesn't work that way. The only way we do it is if our assembly agrees, and they're not going to agree. They are absolutely, the vast majority of the assembly just kisses his butt all day long. Most of them are just sycophants. And they'll be unhappy, but the majority of them are. I mean, almost all Democrats are sycophants, and at least half Republicans are. They're just sycophants. Whatever he says, they're afraid of him. They don't mess with him. That's why you don't see this. They should all be doing this, shouldn't they? I shouldn't be the only guy doing it, but I shouldn't be doing this. They should be, and they're not. They go on TV and go, we're thinking about removing executive powers because that'll teach him. He does what he wants anyway. It doesn't matter. The whole reason for presumed deaths was also just about the crippling of the private sector through extended lockdowns. He just admitted the death rate was somewhat presumed. How much? Yes, Stephen, that was my point. I brought this up last year also. I said we don't know what that number is yet, right? It's extended in some way. Is it 10%, 20%? I don't know what that number is. But for the sake of argument, let's say there are 600,000 deaths total in the country once we consider the pandemic over, whenever we make that assumption, whenever we cut that line. Are 500 real? 400 real? I don't know. But it is absolutely presumed death. Yes, that's true. Yes. So he responded to Trump's DOJ as a priority over his comrade's request. Yes, Guy, that's kind of weird. Sounds like the correct choice. We all know across the nation COVID was used as the presumed cause of death. You really need to research the pharmaceutical industry and vaccine industry if that's a surprise to you. It's all valid points, Guy. All valid. Yes. Does Cuomo get kicked off YouTube for pushing the conspiracy theory that death tolls are fudge numbers? I love that idea. We should put that up there. Absolutely. I love that idea. Yes. So how many people were sent to the hospital ship? Well, some were, but none of them were COVID patients, but a couple. I think it's like 6 or something. It was very few. Yes. The deaths could have been half in New York if he used the 2 field hospitals and a boat. Yes. All of these other states never had those options. Joe, 100%. Yes, you are correct. Yes, absolutely. All right. His version of the facts. Yes, Jacqueline, his version of the facts. He always goes, facts, facts, facts. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Let's see if I can get this here. COVID won't get you if you get at the bars and restaurants by 11 now. Yes. Right. So COVID has changed his tactics. It only preys on you like after 11, right? Sleeps late now. It's nocturnal. That's how that works. Yes. Yes. Larry, what is your position on Trumpism? Could you run red? I'm not sure what that question is. Trumpism. Are you saying am I a Trump supporter? Not really. I'm one of those weird people. I know Trump is very easy to love and to hate. I do neither. And I think if you've seen me talk, I give him credit where credit is due when I hammer him when I should hammer him. So I think I'm neither a Trumpist. Is that what you're calling them? I'm neither a Trumpist or not. So could I run red? Not nationally for sure. I mean, there's no way that I could run nationally. There's too many people in line. They wouldn't even want me to be there. And I'm too libertarian for them, right? The Republican Party is anti too much stuff that I'm pro nationally. New York State, maybe, but nationally, it's virtually impossible. I mean, I'm for pro cannabis, right? I'm pro sex work. The Republican Party nationally would never accept that. So nationally, no. Locally, maybe it's possible. So, let's see. Dems love Trump. He's a bad orange man we can blame for the next 50 years. Paula, I've said this before. You're right. Right. This is the thing that actually kept. If you guys remember, some of you got so mad at me last year around this time when Trump was being impeached the first time. I actually said we should consider, should the Republican Party remove Trump? And some of you guys are like, how dare you even bring this up? It was a serious political question. It wasn't like I was saying Trump should be removed. That wasn't what I was saying, but some people are so mad at me if we even just talk about it. But my point was, Paula, is that one thing Trump did do very well for Democrats was unite them. That's one thing Trump did very well. And if the Republicans were afraid of that, they could have politically said, we want to break the Democrats up so we could remove Trump so they don't have that uniting against him, and they would fight amongst each other. It was a political question. But now, to your point, it's actually happening. The Democrats don't have Trump to blame everything for. So they're not united anymore, right? So now they're like, wait a minute. Do we still, okay. I mean, they're still trying to, I mean, they're probably going to try to sue him or whatever because it keeps, the Democrats rabble, right? I'm upset now. We can get Trump. But what if Trump begins to kind of fade away or just like instead campaigns for the people? Things could change for them. We'll see. So, yes. He's blamed Trump all along for nursing home deaths. Yes, he has. Absolutely correct. So, all right, let's see if I can do this. Patients with COVID should stay in COVID wings. Effing, yes, correct. Yes, Tom. Yeah, whatever it takes. Absolutely. Yes. So, a child would know that sick people belong in a hospital where they can receive better care. Nursing homes were never equipped for acute critical care. I like that. Yes. All right. See if I can keep going here. Cuomo needs to add criminal in chief with his titles. That would work. Yes, absolutely. I love that. Okay, we're an hour into this. Is Cuomo taking responsibility once in this? No, and that's my point. He never does. He couldn't even say sorry when it was appropriate to say, I'm sorry for it. Even if he didn't want to say, I did it. It happened and I'm sorry. No, couldn't even do that. No, absolutely. FY in Texas, they were offering tests with 20% accuracy rate. Wow. If you test positive in a nursing home, then you are put on a COVID hold. So if you test positive by a faulty test, then you're put in with people who actually have the virus. This is endangering people. This actually happened in New York too, but it actually, believe it or not, it wasn't in nursing homes. It was in hospitals. Yes. Remember what happened in New York, there was actually an incentive for hospitals to have COVID patients. The hospitals were stopped by His Majesty from doing any of their other types of things that make money, because money, as you heard him say, is evil. So you can't make money because that's evil. So he wouldn't let you make any money in the hospitals, all the other things they would do, the non-essential stuff that they make money on. So the hospitals are losing money. Well, if they have a COVID patient, they get reimbursed $26,000. They have a non-COVID patient, it wasn't so much, I forgot whatever it was, but it was $26,000. It was in their best interest. If you're going to die of COVID. That's the presumed COVID piece. It's a money grab by the hospitals who were starving. Not just the private ones, by the way, the non-private ones too. So yeah, thank you for that. All right. Can I keep doing this? I need to clip that. If only there was someone in charge of hospital beds in New York. Oh, wait, that's you. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Yes. Let's see here. Don't forget Zucker was the one. Oh yeah. He threw Zucker under the bus. 100%. Yes. Absolutely. So let's see if I can keep going here. He was also creating the brand new toilet paper named Cuomo's Finest. I like that. Very good. Yes. Who wants to point out that hospitals laid people off and were shorthanded before all this started? Yeah, absolutely. I love that it was the federal government that affected only New York and Michigan who pulled the we're in charge cards from the get-go. Yeah, absolutely. Only them. Yes. Excuse me. Let's put Trump on trial for genocide. Oh my God. Would Democrats love that? Don't say that, David. They'll do it. They would love that. Oh, let me take this down. That will so happen. They would love it, eat it up all day. Oh my God. They would eat it up all day. Yes. All right. All the best minds. And this is what you did with it. Yes, absolutely. Dereliction of duty. We know about that, do we not? Yes, we do, my friend. Yes, we do. Yes. I love that he referred to it as guidance in one breath, so it was a mandate in the other, almost like he's trying to cover up that he made the mandate. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. How does he not see he's digging a bigger hole for himself? Because no one's breaking it down. They're just going with the feeling, and that's what's happening. No one's. I'm trying to break it down to show you it's garbage. If some of you know, I do some work sometimes with defense attorneys, and you got to break down the argument. Oh my God, I would destroy him if I was consulting with any attorney. We would destroy this guy in a cross-examination. Not even funny. Just devastate him. It'd be embarrassing. Yes. Sarcastic Larry is the best. Thoroughly entertaining. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Not my fault ever. Absolutely. Yep. Wait for it. When will he blame the families visiting their loved ones? Yes, absolutely. Blamed everybody. It is amazing how he blamed literally everybody. Every single person except for himself. Everybody. Yes. Here's where I'm stuck. His previous numbers were admittedly kept secret, held back, or proven wrong. Why should he ever be listening to any of his facts again? If you're in New York because he's not a Republican, I wish that statement I just made was not true, but it's true. That's why they listen to him, because Republicans are bad and all to Trumpism, Trumpins, whatever you want to call people who support Trump. That's what he's going to say, and he's going to blame Trump for everything. So by default, he's right. Yes. Make staff take COVID or be fired sounds mandate to me. Wow. But if you still were to wear masks, I'm not sure where you're going with that one, Alice. I apologize. I'm not sure where you're going with that. Don't know. Yes. All of that takes him off the hook for voters. That's his whole point. Yes, absolutely. He's so slimy. I'm sure the president will give him a job to save him to answer for his group. I don't know. I'm not sure that's going to happen. I think it'll depend upon how he thinks he'll do in the election. And right now, he's going to win, hands down still. He's totally going to win. There's going to be some Democrats who will try to primary him in New York. And for those of you who don't know New York, he runs New York with an iron fist. So anyone who tries to primary him will be destroyed. He will win the primary again. And unless an outsider runs against him, he will be governor again. No matter how bad he is. It doesn't matter how bad he is. The Republicans in this state, while there are some good Republicans, there definitely are some good Republicans in this state. They do exist. As a statewide organization, they really don't function very well at all. They function very poorly. They don't really have anything to do. They're struggling badly. So they're not really a threat to him at all. I mean, maybe they'll get 35% of the vote. Maybe. That's about it. So, all right. Let's see. There are several articles that caught political placement of patients. There is evidence of negligence, manslaughter, if not premeditated murder. I think you're going to push a premeditated murder charge is going to be tough. That one, I think, is a tough one. Negligent manslaughter? Maybe. Maybe. Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, Griffin. Griffin Noir. That's a tough one. Yes. So, Noir, whichever. So, yes. All right. So if I keep doing this. Do New Yorkers buy this? Sadly, most of them do. Central planning at its finest. Thank you so much, Dan. Somebody brought it up. 100%. Yes, absolutely. So he has a New York City population so freaking brainwashed. Unfortunately, they do believe him. Yep. Ask New Yorkers outside the city how they feel about him. You don't want to do that. You'll get an earful, Sonia. You'll get an earful. You might not want to do that. If you've got to catch a train or something, don't do it. If you got an hour and you want to hear a New Yorker yell and scream about their governor, ask somebody outside of a city how they feel about Governor Cuomo. You will get an earful. Absolutely. Yes. So condescending, like he's giving a bedtime story. Yes, absolutely. He's a sociopath. Definitely a megalomaniac, but I'm thinking maybe sociopath too. Yes. Wow. Cuomo's a piece of work. He even talks like a stereotypical mob boss. You've seen a movie or something. He does. Yes, 100%. He threw Fauci under the bus earlier. He did. He threw them all under the bus. He's like, they're all going. Absolutely. Cuomo's a textbook narcissist. I love that. Yes, I would agree. I think people can look at it and tell he is. No one else in New York State politics has the balls to call out Cuomo's BS. Sadly, that's true. Yes, absolutely. I'm waiting for him to throw the current White House under the bus if they don't give him what he wants. That is next, Paula. I'm 100% sure of that. He's already touched that a little bit. Yes, he is already on that page already. He's on his way to going there. Yes. So, hey, Larry, thanks for coming on my show. This is just one proof that you should have been governor. Yes, it is. Thank you, my friend. It is. More proof. You guys should have voted for me. Absolutely. Larry is lit. Captain Obvious is kryptonite to thinking New Yorkers. Don't blame me. I did vote for Larry Sharpe. Thank you. And I wasted my vote on Joe, even though I'm a MAGA girl, because ballot access matters. Thank you. You're a thing, freedom. All hail the king. Lulz. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that so much. I really do. Absolutely. So let me keep going down here if I can. All right. How pathetic was that you only got 1% of the vote? Now let's do this again. We are in much position to help you get it now. Thank you, my friend. Yes, absolutely. I got about 2% of the vote. You my extra percent, Edward. You my extra percent. So yes, I got 2% of the vote. Hopefully next time we'll get more. I'm hoping that people actually see it and want to make something happen. I really hope that people will see it. I mean, maybe they will. That is definitely my hope. We need you to be governor. Thank you, Shelley. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Elder abuse leading to death. We wouldn't get a walk on that charge. Not at all. They would hammer us as long as they would hammer us all day, all night. They would hammer us so much. You're totally correct. There's no way we would get away with it. It would be embarrassingly bad. So sad the other states that did this, PA, MICA, NJ, should all be investigated and criminal penalties need to be handed out. It'd be nice. It would be nice. You know, it really would be nice if they actually talked about this, right? Well, he won an Emmy so he can act. Point taken, Tim. Well done. Point taken. Yes. Larry Sharpe, him apologizing would admit fault. And that's what bothers me. He could get around it. He could say, I'm sorry it happened. I'm sorry for your loss. He could do any of those things. Like he could. But you're right. He can't admit any fault. You see his personality coming out because at a minimum, you should say, it was terrible and I'm sorry it happened. Even if he doesn't believe it's his responsibility, and he doesn't. But at least I'm sorry it happened. Right? That's what a normal, empathetic human being at that point would have said. All these things, the last thing I wanted. And I'm sorry that it happened. That's all he had to say. But he wouldn't do it. He just wouldn't do it. What I love is that he has public outlet, but only allows the softballs from the media. Why not let New Yorkers ask him questions? Because that would not go well, Sam, would be the reason. That would really not go well at all. Yes. So, yeah. All right. I love the self-contradiction from Cuomo. We need to lock down and mandate more. They would have died anyways. Yeah. Yeah. He just said, you heard him say it. They hermetically sealed the thing in France or whatever, and they still died. Well, then why do we have a lockdown? If that's accurate, then why do we have a lockdown? If you can hermetically seal and people are still going to die, whatever lockdown. All he wants to do is throw stuff up there so you can go, not his fault. That's what he's trying to do, not his fault. That's all he cares about. Nothing except that. Lucky those for-profit nursing homes don't have staff. Yeah, that's right, Matt, because they don't want to hire people. That's for losers. They don't do that, right? That's for only the government does that. Private people never hire anybody. Who has a job in a private sector? Nobody. They don't hire people. Yeah, that's good, though. You're right. If they don't hire people, no one can spread it because nobody's there. Great point. I love that. Yes, I love that. Good point. So, all righty, here, see if I can keep doing this. Hold up. The HVAC guy brought it in. Yes. Yes. Everybody brought it in. Everybody's fault but his. That's the most important thing. Everybody's fault but his. So, Griffin, I missed it. Your thing went, Bobby, you talking about the idea of a great change, a great reset. A lot of people are talking about that. I see it on constantly. I'm not sure if it is or isn't. I don't know if he's part of whatever is happening. I have no idea. But I'm telling you, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good is what I'm telling you. It doesn't look good. Absolutely. It looks terrible. $6.1 billion right before 2020. Cuomo said he was going to cut. And yes, we were already in trouble. We already had a massive deficit, $6 billion deficit before COVID even hit. Absolutely. Yes. 100%. States that haven't done lockdown have been doing better than the ones that have. Yes. Yes. Exactly. It is insane how bad it is. But let me put one thing up if I could. If you guys want me to do this more often, then please like, comment, and share. It does matter. Click that like, share, put a comment. It does matter, guys. You know that I do this and I take time out of my evening every evening. I'm not complaining about working on it. I'm not like him. I work my ass off. I know many of you work your ass off too, and I get it. And I'm not asking for me to stop working. I'm not. I'm asking if you like what I'm doing to support me in one of 3 ways. 1, like, comment, share. It does matter. All 3, do it. It does matter. Even if you say, hi, Larry, I don't care. Click a button. Fine. 2nd, head over to patreon.com/Sharpe Way. If you've got cash, if you're doing well, I know some of you aren't. If you're doing well, if you can afford it, throw me some cash. It does help. I got a team. I got to keep going. I got to build this thing out. I got to make this work. You see how they're starting to cut us down on social media. So I need to grow this thing. So that's 2. 3rd way, heading over to theadvocates.org. The link is actually in the description. Take that election integrity survey, share it online, and share it with your friends. They're my sponsor. They help me out here. So one of those 3, if you can do all 3, awesome. Like, comment, share. Take that test that's in the link. It takes 3 minutes, not even 3 minutes. See where you stand on election integrity survey. Take that and share it. And of course, like, comment, share. I keep saying it. And if you do have some cash to spare, if you're in a position, do it. Do it now. One of those 3. Support this show so we can move forward. Guys, we'll say thank you so much for tonight. I appreciate it. I got a bunch of guests this week, a bunch of guests. I have a Republican lawmaker from New York State tomorrow, an author. I got a comedian, all kind of great stuff this week. I will see you guys all.